other by arm weight and movement. The fingers are somewhat straightened and Arau recommended two uses of the fingers. The first was vigorous high finger action. Arau's high finger action was not the so-called hammer touch recommended by some 19th century pedagogues, where the fingers were raised independently of the arm. And held in a tightly curved shape. Arau's high finger motion is reinforced by arm weight and movement. The fingers are somewhat straightened, and most of the finger movement takes place in the knuckle joint, though the other joints move somewhat as well. So therefore we might say that rather than being curved, the fingers are curving as they depress the keys. The second use of the fingers recommended by Arau was very minimal finger motion. Arau sometimes instructed students not to move their fingers. He did not mean that the fingers should be completely immobile, but that they should remain in contact with the keys or very close to them. The keys are then pressed down by the weight of the arm, and the finger
не стало, теперь они должны платить вам.
Эта идея в прошлом году сделала столовую 97-й лучше.
подавали. Нет.
Bra.
Ну да, ну. Ну типа вот это есть. Ну, да. Ну, что делать потом?
Ну нет, наоборот, не надо перевода. Специально так. Что? Так это и есть дополнительное образование? А, ну вот это имеется в виду, да. А, ну так это замечательно. После конца, значит, человеческое образование будет. Ну да. Ну и что? Ну что ты хочешь сказать? Ну, продолжаем. Времени нету. Констанс жизни нету времени. Хорошо, из чего жизнь состоит? Что такое жизнь? Ладно. Ну и что ты предлагаешь? Хорошо, ладно, я такой, ой, я такой испугался, раскаялся, такой, ой, блин, у меня же никакой жизни, ну, типа, как бы, что там, ну как бы, короче, я не прав, типа, ну, а как вот ты пишешь? И что дальше? И что? Ну, да, работать, повышать квалификацию, то есть, как бы, да, а остальное, это уже, как бы, стареет, то есть, да. Ну, так не думайте просто, ну, жизнь тяжела, просто, что, по-хорошему было бы так, но жизнь тяжела, типа. И чё? Нет. Ну, я понял. А, вот так. Женька Губаев, смирись. Ну ладно, понял. Ну, это шутка уже была просто такая. Нет, так, я не знаю. Может быть и так даже. Мне сложно так сказать. Потому что, кто меня знает с детства, там, люди какие-то, да, с детсада-то никто, наверное, не знает, кроме людей. Не знаю. Сложно так сказать, пацанка, ну, хилы, подумаешь, всякие бывают, да. Ничего особенного. То есть, чтобы что-то сказать, что что-то там, очень плохо или очень хорошо, вроде, непонятно. Ну, наверное, да, может и так даже, да. Подводных камней много. Сложно. почках, в смысле, да? Нет, не в почках. Теперь, да нет, пацаны. Да, ну, еще раз. Теперь подойди, играй. Нет, нет. Самое. Нельзя показывать это, почему нельзя это? Потому что зло это именно. Ну и что? Не понимаю, в чем связь? Почему нельзя это показывать? Да, да. Да? То есть как, почему это? Нечестным трудом это как бы, да? Или что, я не понимаю. Почему? Нет, я не знаю, что, в чем проблема. Сам себе так говорю. Ладно. Вылаживать не сюда надо где-то. Ну где, народ, ты просто дно надо, бля. В чем проблема? В чем проблема-то? А, что, вредительство, что ли? Да что значит это? Я себе не поверю. Вот нет. Это как это я против всех? Нет. А внешность моя отвратительная, ну что я теперь? Обманчивая, как теперь, что там? Романтичная. Да нет, нет, предал себя, говорит он, да. Я себя предал, ничего не слышно, не удивился. Я все знаю, что там. Ты серьезно знаешь все. Что такой странный такой прям? Ну это уже меня не касается. Все равно понимаешь, ты как бы сложно объяснить. На самом деле в психологии может много чего объяснить, мне кажется, да? Как ты считаешь? Или наоборот, помню, чему хочет. Наоборот, вы. Работа будет устраивать, а там будет ходить. Чья пошли где-то вместе? А, бессовестно, наоборот. Все рассказывают, зачем говорит, сам расскажет, говорит, я уже сколько делать мне больше нечего. Ага, все, что угодно за ваши услуги. Да наоборот. Наоборот. Нет, ну на вот это подготовки. Романсинг. Романсинг. Романсинг и романсинг. Институт. Ну да, что-то. Что-то надо было, нахуй. Она говорила тебе это. Уезжай тогда, нет, устраивайся на работу тогда. Нет, наоборот. Что со мной не так, вот че? ну выяснилось. Ну. Народ, ну нет. Ну, внимание, еще что-то надо. Ну нет, народ. Предкосы его заложил, нет, он себе так говорил. Я не понимаю, то есть, а проблема может быть, что ли? Ага, нет, ну нет, нет. Нет, наоборот, да, пудло, ну такое, да. Нет, я не знаю никого, нет, все нормально, все хороши, только ты. Не надо, предавать не надо, предавать не надо, не было, да. Да. Это нормально, ты же видно, что я меня не касается. Ну, потому что я не могу этим управлять, я могу управлять только своей. Это из области психиатрии, когда ты берешь и кем-то управляешь, как бы, это либо из области мошенничества, либо из области психики больной. Это уже другое, когда, да. Понимаю, да. Это есть резонанс, да, это есть там, много есть чего, это есть понимание такое. Ну, что такое? Что такое самое? Ну, себя так потом. Это не лучший путь, как бы, да? Я не считаю, что это правильно, но... Ну да, я понимаю. Да не надо. Да наоборот. Да. лирик, чехоточный там, что там, да блин, надо. Чем вообще разговор, чем нет? Не разговор. Чем ему это? Нет. Нет, не надо. Почту. Что мне так? Больше почту. А, ну да. Ну да. Кого? ты выглядишь, ну, я понял. Ну, нет, нет, наоборот. Свою почту. Спам говорит, давай. Вот это есть. Ну надо. Ну надо, чтобы безопасно как бы это было, наоборот. То есть, это наоборот, спамерская облако, что ли? Что имеется в виду? Небезопасно. Поэтому. Ладно, проведем эксперимент хотя бы так, посмотрим. Что имеется в виду, хер его знает, что имеется в виду. Здорово. Ну нет, подожди, нет. Не надо вот это безответственно. Обезьянник критик наоборот. У обезьянники я вас обидел, я понял тебя. Только макаки, говорит. Как могут прокламация, ой, ладно. Что вы несете такую точку прокламации? Я подбираю. Нет, да, жаловаться на тебя начали уже там, Нет, ты зуб натычет, я понял. Не знаю, я как бы, да. Ты меня поймешь, как бы смотри. Да, ну ладно, не надо делать. Не в зуб, куда пойдете? Это серьезно. Ну да, ладно, больно надо делать. Кому ты все делаешь, показывай, кому ты. Что тут? Ладно, ладно. Нет, конечно.
Ah putain, c'est ouf! Regarde la vue là, tu vois le contraste entre.
Меня зовут Александр Высоцкий, и я приглашаю вас на свой мастер-класс «Как выйти из операционки и начать расти по-взрослому», который я проведу завтра. На этом мастер-классе вы узнаете об основных элементах системной кампании, работающей без оперативного участия собственника. Вы узнаете обязанности собственника и операционного директора. И я вам, конечно, расскажу о пошаговом плане выхода из операционки без специальных знаний и тягомотин. Вы узнаете о масштабировании и технологиях системного бизнеса, которые уже внедрены более чем в 600 бизнесах. И компании в результате выросли, и собственники освободились от оперативного управления. Также мы разберем подводные камни. Я расскажу, что сделать, чтобы гладко внедрить системные технологии. После этого онлайн-мастер-класса вы будете знать о последовательности действий при построении эффективной системы управления в компании больше, чем большинство консультантов. Повторюсь, данный онлайн-мастер-класс состоится завтра, и я надеюсь, что вы найдете время на себя и на то, что позволит вам систематизировать и масштабировать ваш бизнес. Регистрируйтесь прямо сейчас.
Хотели бы вы научиться запускать эффективную рекламу в Facebook, Instagram? Тогда кликайте на синюю кнопку ниже и регистрируйтесь на бесплатный мастер-класс. И Facebook, Instagram это сейчас топовый инструмент для продаж. В прошлом месяце я инвестировал в рекламу.
Вот это, кстати, не очень грамотно, потому что где вот первая эта реклама? Я, может, хотел бы сейчас на первую эпизоду перейти, а вот где она? Она все прозевал. Нет, не знаю.
Hey guys, so a lot of you have been wondering about true pitch versus perfect pitch. True pitch is a learned version of perfect pitch. I did a tutorial on how you can acquire true pitch on my channel. Basically, it's a learned version of perfect pitch that you can acquire through getting used to timbres of your instrument. So in this video, I got my friend William here. He has real perfect pitch. He was born with it. Anyway, our friend Josh here is going to play some notes, and we're going to see how much time is the difference between them. Dude. Alright, so we're going to begin our first round. Josh here is going to play the note, and then the first one to guess it wins. You may begin.
Alright, here it goes. E.
Alright, that doesn't count. Clear the reference from our brain. So, alright, round 2.
A flat.
Alright, round 3.
F sharp.
I couldn't even think.
Or G flat. Yeah. Sorry, I don't need that.
Alright, round 4. That doesn't count. It's just, you know, I'm just warming up my shoulders, you know.
G and E.
Round 5.
B and G sharp.
Okay, we're gonna mix it up a little bit. Alright, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn our backs. As soon as we get the answer, so you can see the time difference, we're just gonna raise our hand, and then we'll both say it at the same time. One, 2, 3. A. I probably won that, didn't I? I couldn't see, but easy. Round 2. 1, 2, 3. E flat. Am I winning?
No.
1, 2, 3.
D flat.
I feel pretty good about that. Did I win that one?
No.
Okay, we'll try one more because he's probably cheating. He's probably raising his hand faster than what he actually gets, and he just waits on me to count the number up. You know, there's cheaters everywhere. I have an idea.
You're doing great, Josh.
Best piano ever. Alright, so we got our pencil and paper out now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna write it down and put the pencil down when we're done. Then we can get a proper comparison. Who's the real champion here? What'd you get?
G.
I got G as well. Will you show me your G?
Really small.
That's a really small. It's the smallest G I've ever seen. Alright, round 2. What did you get?
A D major 7 chord.
So did I.
There's mine. It's probably written wrong, but I'm a violinist, so yeah.
Hey, that's okay. I think there's a flaw. Can we just get a little closer? Round 3, the final round. Look, we did it at the same time. What did you get?
I feel like diminished 7th on C.
That's exactly what I got. What do you know? Okay, it's confirmed. True pitch is just as good as perfect pitch. He wrote down every individual note. I just put down the symbol. Let's do one more bonus round just to seal the deal. Josh, will you play multiple notes for us?
Got it.
I just got the first one.
Patrick's far.
Okay, wow. So we were really close, as you can see. What were your notes?
G, D, F, C sharp, F sharp.
Yes. I mean, I was right. I was just a little bit slower, but I was right. Okay, well, there we have it. I am still inferior. All right, well, thanks for watching. So a lot of you have seen my video about true pitch. It's okay. Hey guys, so a lot of you...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hang on, let's get our laugh out. Let's just get the laugh out. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wait, first, just have a light smile on your face.
Это самый масштабный кризис в истории. Пропустите это видео, если вам не интересно, как зарабатывать по 100-200 тысяч рублей в месяц на новой прибыльной профессии в кризис – агент торгов по банкротству. Не впады.
Alright, that was just for my thumbnail. Okay, so a while ago, I made a perfect pitch tutorial video, and there's so many comments saying, you can't teach yourself perfect pitch, you're either born with it or not. And some of these people were getting like salty, and I could tell they didn't watch the video because I admitted like the type of people who have true, absolute pitch, who hear that and see colors and can instantly identify that. Yeah, if you don't have that, you're out of luck. But I'm also out of luck. But I mentioned that there's an alternative, and that's what I use. Look, so I'm going to turn around, play a note, play two notes. I don't have perfect pitch, but I got that. What about this? Whoa, how did I do that? Look, one more time in case you don't believe me. See, hands aren't anywhere. Hands just go down. That was the concert E, my C sharp. So, I'm going to elaborate on this. So that video, I called it How I Taught Myself Perfect Pitch. I'll admit, it was kind of clickbait because it was going to reel in people that don't have perfect pitch, but I was going to show them that you can still identify pitches without any reference. And I identified that as true pitch because a saxophone player named Sean Wallace called it that, and I liked it. So I call it true pitch. So if you watch that video, I talk about timbre. Pick one instrument and then learn the timbres of every note. And I explained how a C sharp on a saxophone, an alto saxophone, sounds like ah. Da. It doesn't sound like ooh. No, it sounds like ah. That was F, concert F. A D on here. To me, that sounds like ooh. So if you play those next to each other, ah, ooh, ah. See, perfect pitch meant there's a girl in my class. Someone was playing concert A on a piano. It was a real piano. And then the girl was like, that's A442.5 hertz. And I was like, I got my phone out, and I was like, because she was right. That's perfect pitch. That's absolute perfect pitch. That's something that we kind of missed the ball on. But it's okay, because lots of amazing players don't have perfect pitch. If anything...
Зачем столько карт, когда есть одна? Тинькофф Platinum.
Есть рассрочка.
Le jardin, la piscine qui est là-bas, je sais pas si on voit. Non, on voit pas, mais on...
Hello, I'm Graham Fitch, bringing you this video demonstration on technical exercises and studies
for Pianist magazine, and as usual, I'm coming from Steinway Hall in London. So the first thing we're going to look at in this video, I've got two videos for you on technical exercises. The first one is for the beginner, elementary, and lower intermediate kind of levels. And then in the next video, I'm going to be looking at the upper intermediate and advanced repertoire, not repertoire of exercises, that is. So whenever we're doing technical exercises, we've got to remember the history of these exercises, that a lot of them happened at a time when pianists were trying to, what they thought, strengthen fingers. Because when we look back into our ancestry, we came from harpsichord playing and forte piano, the early piano playing, where it was very possible to play with, fingers with a very still arm, and it was really just finger movements. But as the piano got bigger and the repertoire got more complex, we weren't able to keep up with that. But people tried, and there were all sorts of mechanical devices they used, all sorts of endless exercises where we had to lift our fingers and really develop strength in the fingers, which is a misnomer. We don't need strong fingers as such. What we need is to coordinate the finger with the arm and the rest of the body. So let's have a look, first of all, at a really nice exercise for the beginner, almost as soon as you can play a triad at the beginning stage, this, in both hands. You can play the grand arpeggio. Do you see what I'm doing? Crossing my body and then coming down. Now what I'm aiming for here is completely smooth transitions between the hands. Not only that, but also some shape, perhaps a crescendo as we go up. And a diminuendo as we come down. We don't need to look at any music for this. We can understand that that's a triad major and that's a triad minor. And also that the minor may have a different quality, well, does have a different quality. So if I'm playing the minor, I can play that with a little bit more darkness of character. And you might even want to use emojis if you're a teacher teaching these. What emoji is this? You might find that that's a bit too quick for your average beginner, but it's well worth using these little exercises to develop the reflexes for speed that you're going to use later, because it's very simple to remember. I'm not saying it's simple to do, but it's for the developing pianist from the early stages. Now don't forget, if they can use the pedal, or if you can reach the pedal, and tie that up with with the pedal also. So give it shape, give it character, give it dynamic variety, pedaling if you can reach. Now, I'm going to have a little look at just a small selection of exercises, starting off with the Études intelligentes, or intelligent studies of Piotr Lachert, published by Bärenreiter. These are really sweet. I like what he does here. He's got a cluster in the left hand. So we put down a cluster of notes silently, which gives a little resonance. Now we've got a piece here called, a little study anyway, called Little Mice Out Walking. And this is the right hand family, and it's a little study for the thumbs, or for the thumb. So I finger 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you hear the resonance? And then bring it back down. Then 1, 3, 1, 3. And then 1, 4. Get the idea, and it ends with a nice big cluster down there. So that already introduces kind of interesting sounds and shapes, rather than just a dry, kind of boring mechanical exercise. So this book is full of really useful little contraptions like that will certainly do the job of making the thumb flexible. So we've got a smooth arm traveling outwards and back downwards, and with that smooth arm we've got a thumb that's moving under the hand, under the second finger, under the third finger. Really valuable. We probably all know The Dozen a Day by Edna May Burnham, and some of you will think, oh well, they're too old, they're passé, but actually they're really good. Not all of them are really good. I don't particularly like the 5-finger ones where she does, this, because for the beginner, that's really quite difficult to do. When we're playing 5-finger exercises of any sort, we have to make sure we move. Can you see this mobility here in my wrist? A lateral adjustment of wrist. Thumb alignment towards a pinky alignment, and then back. And then I can play that pattern of notes really freely and really. Already introduces kind of interesting sounds and shapes, rather than just a dry, kind of boring mechanical exercise. So this book is full of really useful little contraptions like that will certainly do the job of making the thumb flexible. So we've got a smooth arm traveling outwards and back downwards, and with that smooth arm we've got a thumb that's moving under the hand, under the second finger, under the third finger. Really valuable. We probably all know The Dozen a Day by Edna May Burnham, and some of you will think, oh well, they're too old, they're passé, but actually they're really good. Not all of them are really good. I don't particularly like the 5-finger ones where she does, this, because for the beginner, that's really quite difficult to do. When we're playing 5-finger exercises of any sort, we have to make sure we move. Can you see this mobility here in my wrist? A lateral adjustment of wrist. Thumb alignment towards a pinky alignment, and then back. And then I can play that pattern of notes really freely and really flexibly. But of course, you'd have to know that that's what you had to do. If you didn't know that, you could get into all sorts of problems lifting up pistons. Jumping off the front porch steps. There's a little stick figure here of somebody jumping from the top of the step, and there's an arrow, and he or she is jumping to the bottom of the steps. And here we go with a triad here. Up, down. So the graphics really help. And that's such a simple exercise, you can easily remember that, memorize it, and perhaps play it in any key of any piece that you're playing. It's really good for freedom in the arms, the release out of the keyboard, up, and the landing into the lower note. Now the push-up, this is from book 3 of Dozen a Day. Very nice little exercise. The 3 stick figures here, doing a push-up or a press-up. First of all on the ground, and then on the second one, push up, and back down again. You see how this works? Double thirds, but really nicely choreographed. So what we're doing is we're pushing against the key upwards, and that up thrust, small up thrust, frees up the arm completely, so then we don't get tight at all, and we play the double thirds in a very coordinated way. This is a neat little one also from book 3 called Skipping, in which it's really just a dominant seventh. see what's good about that is, again, you've got the up thrust in the arm, which releases any tension, and then the alignment onto the next note of the chord. It's easy to feel the alignment, this movement here. How many people have attempted to play an arpeggio in this way, and they felt, oh, my fifth finger and my fourth finger are so weak, I must do some exercises to strengthen my fourth and fifth finger, when all they needed to do was to align, move, let go of the thumb position. You see what I'm doing there? I'm not holding on to my thumb position, moving across, then down. And you can apply that to any chord that you're playing at this sort of level. Let's have a little look at Hanon. We couldn't do a video on exercises without touching on Hanon. Now, it's polemic, isn't it? There are those who absolutely believe in Hanon. And I'm talking not only about teachers, but concert pianists of international renown who practice Hanon regularly. And there are those, of course, who are so dead against it. But I think let's try and keep a middle ground here, tread a middle path through this. I'm going to use Hanon now. I'm going to use the first exercise for a variety of different choreographic purposes, starting off just with transfer of arm weight through a loose wrist. You see what I'm doing there? It's my arm that's playing, not my finger. That's important to remember. My finger just happens to be on the end of my arm, but my wrist, a little push here, a little push into the key, and a release. You see that release? And those are the sorts of movements we use when we're playing the legato cantabile. So quite the opposite of what Hanon originally intended. How about a lateral wrist movement? I'm going to change the key. Let's modulate to D major. Do you see there's that lateral movement I was showing you? And also another adjustment that we need to make when we put short fingers on black keys, thumb and pinky, we need to move in. Let me show you. Now I have to go in for the black key, stay in for the thumb on the black key, and then draw out. So I've got freedom of movement here and this way. How about turning that lateral movement into a wrist circle? Hoist up on the pinky, up, round, up. And that wrist circle is so freeing and so liberating for the hand that it doesn't feel like I'm doing any work at all. I'm going to use this also as a thumb exercise, and so that you can see what I'm doing, let me just show you in the left hand. So, descending in the left hand, I'm going to use just two fingers, 1 and 2. Right, rather like that little mice exercise I was showing you now, 1 and 3. It doesn't have to be fast. 1 and 4. That is a great exercise to practice. Let's move to number 6. This one, and I'm going to use it for rotation. Forearm rotation. I think you'll hear that I'm adding shape to this, I was going to say to the music. It's not music, but I'm trying to make it musical. So what am I doing? Let's see. Giving it little contours, up, down, crescendo as I go up. So I just make it sound as good as I can and feel as good as I can. And I'm going to end this video with a look at 2 etudes that I highly recommend from Bergmüller, the Opus 100 set, which starts with a piece called La Candeur in C major. Now, this takes exercises up to a whole new level because it's music. And if I play you a little bit of it, you'll hear that it's not at all dry, it's really expressive, really satisfying, but I'm moving in very similar ways to the exercises that I've previously studied. So exercises, then studies. Do you see the wrist circles here? Shaping, diminuendo. Crescendo, then diminuendo. Little shape there. See the wrist circles, some rotary movements there. So we've got a piece of music that happens to be designed around movements, 5-finger position. The next one, and my last example for this video, will be the arabesque of Bergmuller number 2. Fantastic for chord playing. Triads in the left hand, triads of different shapes, and the down-up, drop-roll slur in the right hand. Down-up, down-up. Let me put that together. Now the other way around. How fantastic is that? It's a lovely piece of music, it's highly educational, and it sounds really good. So when we're practicing exercises, always ask yourself, what am I hoping to achieve by them? Never practice them mechanically, and always practice them with attention to good sound and good feeling in the body.
One day, the Buddha walked into a village and a very angry man started walking towards him and started yelling at him. You have no right to teach the world. You're just as dumb as anyone. You're nothing but a scammer, he said. The Buddha was not upset by his insults. Instead, he asked the young man, tell me, if you buy a gift for someone and they do not take it, then who does this gift belong to? The young man was surprised by the question, and he said, the gift would belong to me because I bought it. The Buddha smiled and said, correct. And it is the same with your anger. If you become angry with me and I don't feel insulted and take your hostility, the anger falls back on you as it was initially yours to give. You are then the only one who becomes unhappy, not me. The angry man became calm and learned a new lesson. He looked at Buddha as if he wanted to know more, but he was too proud to ask. Without him asking, Buddha answered the question in his mind by giving him an odd-looking bracelet. Start here, my man. Wear this bracelet and you will slowly experience what it means to have positivity in your life. As he put on the odd-looking bracelet, a strange electrical sensation shot through his body. He couldn't explain the exact feeling of it, but he felt positive and powerful. And it also looked good on him, so he decided to just wear it and see what happens. Within a few days, he became a changed man. He lost this anger and negativity. He became a positive and happy man. That was only the beginning. Through the law of attraction, his positivity attracted even more positivity into.
Нравится тебе? Смотри, удобно, да, парадигма? Так давай тогда это государственная система образования сделаем. Браслеты расстаемся. Ну так нет, а что, почему нет? Не знаю, я туда не буду. Просто, короче, это все... Не, фу, блин.
Hello, I'm Graham Fitch, bringing you this video demonstration on technical exercises and studies for Pianist magazine, and as usual, I'm coming from Steinway Hall in London. So the first thing we're going to look at in this video, I've got two videos for you on technical exercises. The first one is for the beginner, elementary and lower intermediate kind of levels. And then in the next video, I'm going to be looking at the upper, intermediate, and advanced repertoire, not repertoire of exercises, that is. So we've got, whenever we're doing technical exercises, we've got to remember the history of these exercises, that a lot of them happened at a time when pianists were trying to, what they thought, strengthen fingers. Because when we look back into our ancestry, we came from harpsichord playing and forte piano, the early piano playing, where it was very possible to play with, you know, fingers with a very...
Ну да, мы настроили на вас рекламу. Я сейчас готовлюсь к мастер-классу для владельцев бизнеса, и я знаю, что вы пока еще на него не записались. Отказаться, конечно, ваше дело, но подумайте еще вот о чем. Подумайте об альтернативе. Сейчас у вас есть какой-то, очевидно, один вариант развития событий в вашем бизнесе. У вас есть одна какая-то стратегия управления компанией, управления продажами. Она основана на вашем опыте. Я не говорю, что у вас опыт ничего не значит. Наоборот, но при этом я предлагаю вам узнать как минимум еще один вариант. У меня также есть опыт, основанный на работе с сотнями компаний в десятках стран, сфер бизнеса. На онлайн-встрече я покажу вам избранные решения для того, чтобы ваша компания росла в деньгах, а у вас, как у собственника, стало больше свободного времени. Да, даже сейчас, даже в эти трудные времена. Может быть, вы со мной не согласитесь, может быть, нет. Выбор всегда за вами. Но взять в работу несколько инструментов вы точно сможете. Для вас полностью открыт мой 11-летний опыт бизнес-консалтинга и работы более чем с 2000 владельцев бизнеса. Так что нажимайте на синюю кнопку внизу и до встречи онлайн. Ну а я пойду готовиться к эфиру. Пока.
Так, это у меня карта для кэшбэка, это для рассрочки, а это не помню для чего.
Зачем столько карт, когда есть одна? Тинькофф Платинум.
Беспроцентный период при обычных покупках. 120 дней без процентов при погашении кредита в других банках. Есть рассрочка. Кэшбэк баллами за каждую покупку. Удобное приложение. Легко компенсировать покупки баллами.
А мне такую карту?
Тинькофф Платинум. Больше, чем кредитная карта. Зайди на сайт tinkoff.ru, оформи заявку на карту сегодня и получи ее уже завтра.
Я тоже так считаю. Не имеешь права, можно. То есть как бы добрый ты человек, то есть так скажем.
Hello, I'm Graham Fitch, coming from Steinway Hall in London. I'm bringing you this video on technical exercises for Pianist magazine. And this video is all about exercises and studies at the intermediate and advancing levels. Now, of course, whether we practice finger exercises or whether we shouldn't practice them is so much open to debate and discussion, and if you get a bunch of piano teachers together, they're going to get very heated about this. So we have to keep in mind that the history, a little bit of the history of these exercises. There was a time in the development of piano playing when it was believed that we separate technical work from the repertoire. So people sat there for hours a day doing kind of dry, boring, repetitive, mechanical exercises in the belief that you could transfer those skills directly across to the piece that you were playing, the repertoire that you were playing. And it since turns out that actually that's not really the case. So we don't need hours of dreary exercises, but we can certainly use exercises wisely for a definite purpose, and this is the point for me. Do them mindfully. It's not so much what you do, but how you do them that counts.
воротник мамы.
So if we start off with what an exercise should be, it's short, it should be short and sweet and easy to remember so that you can look down at your fingers as soon as possible and concentrate on the particular choreography or technical skill that you're wanting to develop and install. So a good example of that might be using a scale for some purpose. So let's say you are playing, I think I've used this example before, but let's say you're playing the arabesque of Debussy. The first arabesque, and you're struggling with the 2-against-3 rhythm. Simply practice a scale 2-against-3 where the 3 is in the right hand. Do it at the speed of the arabesque, and you'll have extracted the difficulty and applied the difficulty to something much simpler or something that you already know, and then you can transfer that across to the piece. Not lock, stock and barrel, but you'll be able to feel and hear whether your 2s-against-3s are as good in the piece as they were in the scale. Do you see where I'm coming from with that? Now, one set of exercises I really like are the reflective keyboard studies of Vincent Persichetti of Opus 138. I've got set 1 here, the first from set 1, and they're all mirror studies, which is fantastic because whatever I'm doing in the right hand, I'm doing in mirror form in the left hand. So if I wanted to practice a scale of E major in my right hand, using the natural symmetry of the keyboard, I can practice a scale of A flat major in the other hand simultaneously starting on the 3rd degree. If you're confused about this, I have made a video on symmetrical inversions. So search on YouTube, Pianist Magazine, my name, Graham Fitch, and just look up symmetrical inversion and you will find a whole video devoted to this. But briefly, I'm using the natural symmetry of the keyboard. So if I want to start on E in the right hand, I have to start on a C in the left hand. When I play a black note with my second finger in the right hand, I'm playing a black note with my second finger in the left. So everything is mirrored. Persicchetti's first reflective study, which is so valuable and so interesting to play and incredibly useful. Double thirds at the intermediate level. Fantastic to be practicing double thirds because they develop the supposed weak fingers, the 4th and 5th, and make them as strong and as agile as the strong fingers 1, 2, 3. Do you see how that works? What I'm doing is I'm using a modulating pattern of major to minor to diminished and then dominant 7th on the last one. Minor. There's my diminished and there's my dominant 7th. So just a little word about the alignment that we need to keep in mind when we're practicing double thirds. Very, very important to move from a thumb alignment to a pinky alignment so that I'm not always in this position. I move laterally. And the other thing I'm doing is using my wrist as a spring. So I come up, up, up. So I can feel that happening really fast when it becomes a vibration. So if we start off understanding that the wrist has to be behind the finger that's playing, and we can use our arm to add, sort of turbocharge the fingers. If you